Hi, my name is Dr. Vijay Madhuri, fertility consultant, 49 Fertility Centers, Banjara Hills. Today, we will be discussing about blocked fallopian tubes. Like what are the causes, how will we diagnose, and what are the treatments. If a patient is planning for pregnancy, what sort of treatments are these patients who are having blocked fallopian tubes are having the treatments? I will just let you know. So first thing is, fallopian tubes are very important when a woman wants to get pregnant. So how is, normally every month one follicle will be growing in the ovary. When this follicle is ruptured, one egg will be released and the egg will be traveling into the tube, and at the same time, if the husband and wife are having intercourse, the sperm will be deposited near the cervix. The sperms will be going from the uterus into the fallopian tubes, and both the sperm and the egg meets in the fallopian tube, means fertilization will be done in the fallopian tubes. So the fallopian tubes are very important for a woman who wants to get pregnant. So for few patients, there are chances like one of the tube is blocked, otherwise two fallopian tubes are blocked, like that some patients will be having. So first thing is, when a patient comes to a center, fertility center, or to a gynecologist, what we see is how the egg reserve of the patient is, what are the age of the couple, and how is their uterus. But to know the fallopian tube, we need to do fallopian tube test, that is a HSG or SIS. In HSG, what we does is a small sort of dye. We will make the patient lie on under an X-ray machine, and we will send a dye through the cervix into the uterus. It will be a fast push, so that the dye will be coming through the tube and get like that from the tube it will be coming outside. Throughout this process, the radiologist will be taking the X-ray films, so that in the film we will understand whether the tubes are open or closed, because this dye will be coming out. No, this whole picture they will be giving us. And the other one is saline infusion sonography. This is done under ultrasound guidance. How means, in this also one small catheter is inserted into the uterus of the patient. We will just send the normal saline, we will be pushing it, and under the color Doppler we will be checking it whether the fluid is passing through the tubes freely and coming into the abdomen or not. So these two procedures will tell us whether the tubes are closed or open. And one more procedure also is there, that is through the laparoscopy or through the hysteroscopy also we can know that whether the tubes are blocked or open. So most of the times, what are the causes of the fallopian tubal blocks is, one thing is infections. So the infections might be passing from the husband to the wife, or the wife might be having few infections. Those infections near the vagina, or from the vagina, it will be passing through the cervix into the uterus and into the into the fallopian tubes. Because of that infections also, there might be few adhesions in the fallopian tubes also, and because of these infections, there will be hydrosalpinx, pyosalpinx also in the tube. And one more is endometriosis. Normally in the endometriosis, normally every month when a woman is getting a cycle, the bleeding or will be going outside. But in this endometriosis case, the bleeding, instead of going outside, a little bit amount of the bleeding will go into the tubes and go like this into the ovaries and get deposited all over the body also, all over the abdomen also. So when the blood is passing in this way also, there are chances of this endometriosis in the fallopian tubes. Because of that, there might be some adhesions also. And one more is also through some few surgeries. Some patients might be having surgeries for this, any fibroid uterus or any problem in the ovaries or any problem in the abdomen. Because of these surgeries, sometimes the anatomy of the fallopian tube might be disturbed, and there might be few adhesions in the body, so that this fallopian tube might be stuck to the uterus, or it might be stuck to the abdominal wall. Because of the disturbed fallopian tube anatomy, the blockage of the tubes might also be there. So we should exactly know what is the cause of the blockage of the fallopian tubes, and accordingly we can plan the treatment. If a patient really seriously trying for pregnancy, then accordingly whether one tube is blocked or both the tubes are blocked, accordingly we will take the decision. So if one tube is blocked, and what is the cause of the tube, what is the cause of blockage of the tube, and where is the tubal blockage, for how long is the tubal blockage there for the patient, and what is the history, means what are the ages of the couples, how the egg reserve is there for the women, and how the semen analysis is there for the men, like that all these things history we will be taking. and then accordingly we will be treating the patient. If the patient age is young and there are no comorbidities except one single tubal block, we'll just do a diagnostic histol lab and just check where the tubal block is there. Accordingly, is it possible to remove the block or not, we will see. If the block is removed, they can try naturally. If we are not able to remove the block, anyways, one tube which is open, with that tube also they can try for pregnancy. Because if one tube is open, if that month the egg is being released, that egg goes into the tube, so there are chances of getting pregnant. But if the patient's age is on the higher side and the ovarian reserve is very less and the husband's semen analysis is also less, instead of going for this anastomosis or any procedures for tubal, it's better you go for IVF directly. Because if any problem is there in the tube during the surgery, the cilia over the surgery might get disturbed sometimes. So there are chances of ectopic pregnancy also because of these tubal surgeries. Like that, accordingly they can plan. And few patients, they will be having doubts. Already told you, like with single tube we can conceive or not. For sure, with single tube which is open, you can conceive. Until unless there are any other comorbidities, there will not be any problem. Okay. Regarding this tubal blocks, if you are having any other doubts, or otherwise I just wanted to let you know that if for few patients they are having in first pregnancy, second pregnancy, after the two babies are born, they might be going for a tubectomy procedure also. Like those patients also, they come again for us for having, like those patients also, if in case if one baby is not there or anything, they might be planning for the second pregnancy. Like those patients also, we will just take the history accordingly. Should we do a reanastomosis or not? And it is very important when we are going for a reanastomosis, because sometimes normally this tubal length will be 4 centimeters, but during the tubectomy, if more length of the tube is cut or it is clipped, no, again doing reanastomosis will be little bit difficult. So depends on the location of the tubectomy and the length of how much length they use it for doing the tubectomy. Everything is important when we are doing a reanastomosis, along with the couple's history also. So accordingly we will plan. So any patients who are having any other doubts who are having tubal blocks, they can come directly to the 49 fertility centers. We will clear their doubts. Thank you.